In a previous video, we talked briefly about methods. So we're going to talk more about methods in this video. As we mentioned before, method names use lower camel case. And when we have a look at our code, we can see all of our methods listed. We'll notice that, that's a constructor, sorry. We have all of our methods listed. You'll notice that they all use lower camel case. We talked about that. That's where the first letter is lowercase and the following letters for each word are uppercase, and there are no spaces. So methods we always name lower camel case. Now methods have a signature, and signatures have three parts, and every method is named this way. So methods have a return type, then they have the name of the method, then they have the type and name of parameters that the method requires. And it will follow this format: return type, name of method, and then parameters. So some examples here are void, change color, string new color. Void is the return type. Void means nothing. Change color is the method name, and then string new color are the parameters. So this is the parameter type, string, and the parameter name, new color. So we can choose the method name and we can choose the parameter name when we are writing our methods. The return type will be void if the method returns nothing, or it might be string, for example here, if the method returns a string, or it might be int or double or boolean. Those types are defined by Java. So void if the method is returning nothing, or the type that it's going to return. The method name we can choose. Parameter type is the type of parameter, so string, double, int. Then the parameter name we choose. So it's always the same. Return type, name of method, then parameters. Return type void, make visible, name of the method, parameters in the brackets. This has no parameters. Void, move, parameters. You can see this method here has two parameters, int x, int y. If we have multiple parameters, they're separated by a comma, and you can have as many as you require for the method. So when you're writing a method, if you need 3 parameters, you can have 3 parameters. If we have a look at our code here, you'll see the same thing. Int, so it returns an int. GetPrice is the method name. Parameters. Because it has an int and it's returning an int, it needs to have a return statement. Int, getBalance, parameters. So return type, method name, parameters. Because it's parameter type, its return type is int, it's got to return something. This one, void, that's its return type. It means it's not going to return anything. Insert money as the name. Parameters, parameter type, parameter name. Void, so it returns nothing. Print ticket is the name. Parameters. So the parameters always go in the brackets. Void is the return type. Remember, void means it returns nothing. Int, refund balance. So return type int, refund balance name. Parameters, no parameters in this case. Whenever you have a return type, have to return something. So we can see it's returning something. So methods always follow this format. Now the way we call a method is the object name dot method name. So let's have a look at that. So if I create here a new ticket machine, I'm going to call the instance some ticket. Remember, objects are named lower camel case. Click OK. Whoop, sorry, got that back to front. Some ticket should be in the name field, name of the instance. And remember, for this ticket machine, we'll talk about more about this in topic 2. This one requires an int. Sometimes you're going to have to pass parameters when you create an object. Sometimes you won't. We'll talk about that more in topic 2. So I'll pass 45 here. Now watch. I said always have your terminal window open. We can see the code to create the new object. Now watch what happens when I call a method on it. GetBalance. returns 0. Get balance, if we have a look at the method, has an int return type, so it returns an int. And here is the code required to call that method. SumTicket, which is the object name, .getBalance, which is the method name. Now if I get price, returned int 45. SumTicket method name .getPrice, SumTicket object name .getPrice method name. It returns an int. And we can see getBalance, return type int, so it returns an int. GetBalance requires no parameters. Now if I scroll down to insert money, so insert money is not going to return anything because its return type is void, but it requires an int amount, so it takes a parameter. So if I call the insert money method, I have to pass it something, and we can see from the method here, from the method signature, the method has some parameters. It requires an int, so I need to pass in an int, 200. Okay, but it doesn't return anything because its return type is void. Now if I call the method getBalance, and we can see, insert money method, object name dot method name, object name SumTicket dot method name, and here's the parameter I passed, 200. If I was to call that method again, insert money, I'll pass 500 this time. SumTicket dot insert money 500. So always the same way when we call a method. Object name dot method name and parameters if they require parameters. Now if I call getBalance, it's returning 700. SumTicket dot getBalance, and we can see getBalance returns an int, and there's the int that's been returned.